Warning, the following is entirely satirical and should not be taken as truth or fact. Styles Rebel Radio and the Rebel Podcast do not own any copyrighted material that may be included in this broadcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
Yo, I have a vampire infestation.
Suspend the show right now.
You're gonna zipline directly into the harpoon?
Yeah,
What do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show. We're live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio, saving the underground music scene. Am I right, Shani?
Hey, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Hello.
I'm Radio's Rebel DJ style, 216-859-8699 is that number to text in again. That's 216-859-8699. You can text in live to the Rebel Radio Show or use the hotline for any of our programming at WSRRradio.com. I know we've got something to talk about, but real quick. Vampires? Like, we were talking about vampires in the break.
Vampires, there's a lot of ways to kill them. They shouldn't have been as much of a problem as they were. The stake through the heart, the silver bullet,
Yeah.
garlic
You
in
have to
general.
invite them into your home.
Yeah, you can't see them in mirrors. I feel like, if you get word of a vampire sighting, you're just like, well, I'm going to
stay home.
I'm going to stay home, and anybody who comes in, I'm going to not invite them in, and I'm going to show them a mirror.
You know, maybe vampires aren't a problem anymore because smartphones, because they don't have reflection, right? So, like, pretty fucking obvious when you go take a selfie and you can't take a selfie with them. Vampires shouldn't have been an issue. And, like, people buried them alive for some reason, and they were trapped there for eternities. Well, that's the mythos behind it, right?
Why would you bury a vampire? Why would you bury anyone alive,
If
especially a vampire?
If you're close enough to bury a vampire alive, you're not close enough to put a stake through it or, like, have garlic.
Right.
Was there a garlic shortage while Transylvania was dying?
Choke it out with a garlic necklace.
Yeah, that's wasn't that a thing? Like the actual garlic necklaces, weren't those things?
Yeah.
It's fucking crazy.
Right. People thought vampires, and again, that's another thing. Were vampires like cryptids? Did people see people with like insomnia or like what's the disease where their face
Rosacea,
where their skin gets really white?
Oh, that's not. That's the opposite.
Where they get like really pale and shit like that. But like, you know, they see people with like specific rare
Albinos?
diseases. No. But like they see people with like rare diseases that keep them up late or maybe make their skin pale or
maybe they like a little blood.
Right, maybe they
iron deficiency.
Yeah, where does the mythos of vampires come from?
I think a vampire is a cryptid, right?
Is it though? Or is it like a mythical?
Vampires, well, at least Dracula is based off Vlad the Impaler. I know that.
Interesting.
Because, like, he would eat the corpses of his enemies or something like that after he stuck a spike through them. Like, drink their blood. Or, like, it dude's fucked up. But I'm pretty sure, like, Vlad Dracula is based off of Vlad the Impaler.
All I know is Dr. Acula.
Yeah.
216-859-8699. Do you have a vampire problem? You might have a sky rat problem.
Oh,
With the other cryptid.
No more. I like to imagine the German mayor just like getting up on a big pedestal and saying, "Sky rats, no more!" And
everyone cheers.
Yeah, the crowd. Yeah.
Finally. They don't know what pigeons are in Germany. It's a cryptid to them.
Yeah.
Like, what are these sky rats?
Get these sky demons out of here.
So they're called sky rats in this article, but it's about Germany banning pigeons.
Yeah, I was looking for the specific.
Not the ownership of pigeons, just pigeons.
So
no more of them.
The Limburg an der Lahn, a
tracks.
town in West German state of Hesse. They are banning. Well, they're not banning pigeons. They are
killing.
They're killing
pigeons.
They're killing pigeons
in mass quantity.
Yeah, so it's called a culling when they do this. The culling will be held.
It's like a purge.
Yeah, it's a purge of
They have a set date they're gonna do this.
Bird purge.
It starts in 2 years, so the cull will be carried out over the next 2 years.
Well, they want to give him a warning first.
Yeah,
like,
they wanted to let him know.
2 years to get out of here.
They wanted to let him know, but the method chosen for the call, using a falconer to lure them in, and then they're gonna lure them into traps, and then they're gonna stun them with like wooden bull sticks, and then they're going
Cattle prods?
like cattle prod them. And then they're gonna break their necks.
That's so excessive.
So
Way too
To
much.
every pigeon.
yeah, that's pretty crazy. That someone's gonna have to. I'm the guy who's breaking the pigeon's necks today. Fuck, I'm on neck duty.
I'm on cattle prod shift today for the pigeons.
Thank God I'm on prod duty. All I gotta do is poke them.
Yeah, that's why do you have to prod them if you're just gonna break its neck anyway?
Why
It's
do we have to get
probably-
rid of the pigeons? That's
I
my.
agree with
That's
that.
like, why are we even doing this in the first place?
Evan better stay out of Germany.
Yeah, Evan better run away from Germany quick.
We're gonna call him.
Yeah, he will be called. He will be called quickly. Fear the cattle prods, Evan.
I feel like they cattle prod them to, I don't know, make it more humane for them.
There's
Maybe to
there's
shock
so
them?
many other ways.
Yeah, they
Yeah,
could
but
just
it,
like
the whole thing
lethally
isn't
sedate
humane.
them.
Yeah, they could do that, or they could like not bother. When there's any other population issue, they usually just introduce a natural predator, don't they?
Yeah.
They could do that.
Well, and I wonder if there is no natural predator to the pigeon because,
Just cats.
well, I recently,
no, you're right.
I recently found this out, and I think I found this out because of this article.
Me too.
Pigeons used to be domesticated,
Mhm.
and so one day we just got tired of having pigeons as pets, and we let them. I don't know how
We made pigeons, right? It was like it was a crossbreed for domestication.
I could believe that. I don't know.
Like I'm
That
pretty sure the
sounds
entire
believable.
point of pigeons was like people wanted to own birds, and we made pigeons,
I'll take that as fact.
and then we
But-
got rid of pigeons.
Yeah, but then we got rid of pigeons, and so like I read a comment. Someone made a comparison of like, imagine if we just got rid of dogs, and there were a bunch of stray. Like 50 years from now, there would just be a bunch of
Yeah.
stray dogs living everywhere. You know, like
Yeah.
we would have a dog problem pretty much. And
Di-
like it's really interesting that why don't we just domesticate them again? Maybe Like,
I
it
feel like
would be-
there's too many at this point.
there's too many probably, but like still, they were our problem. They were our problem to begin with. We should solve this, you know. And I don't think killing them
Yeah.
city by city is the way to do it.
Do they have plenty of pigeons in like Africa? Can you trap them and
They're basically
go
seagulls, from
somewhere
what I'm
else?
looking at.
Yeah,
They were gull birds that we domesticated.
That's so. Did we ever domesticate seagulls?
No, you can't. They're a national bird.
Oh, that's interesting.
Well, yeah, any bird that's a state bird, you cannot domesticate or hunt or kill,
That's
or it's a
interesting.
federal crime.
That's very
And
interesting.
seagulls are like Maine or something like that. They're the bird of
Mhm.
Maine. And I learned that on a boat because one of the kids was telling the captain to hit the seagull that was flying in front of it, and
That's
he explained to all of us, you cannot kill seagulls or you will go to federal prison.
That's really funny.
But I don't. What do you do? Not this.
I think. Yeah,
how-
we really created a problem and then just didn't solve it.
Okay, well, like the deer population is an issue in Ohio, and we just have hunting for deer at multiple times a year. You can get a permit to hunt deer.
Yeah,
Why can't you just hunt pigeons?
yeah.
Why can't we have a day in Germany to hunt pigeons? That's
like-
all I ask for.
pigeon hunting season?
Pigeon hunting day.
You can eat.
You know that
pigeon,
holiday?
right?
Yeah, yeah. National Pigeon Hunting
Yeah,
Day.
you can
Yeah,
eat anything.
You can. You can eat anything. If it's physical, it's
Yeah.
edible.
Yeah, you can eat it. Will you die? I don't know, but you can eat it.
I think you could.
Rat poison?
I
You can
think-
eat it.
You could probably eat a pigeon. I think you could probably
feel
take
like you could
the,
eat a pigeon.
the
It's-
meat off of a pigeon.
Pheasant, right?
Yeah, right. It's got to be.
Yeah, we eat small birds. Sometimes.
What small bird you been eating? I told
Uh,
you to stay out of the fucking blue jay nest, Shane.
No, not that small. It's
No,
like a Cornish hen or
He
something
goes
like
to
that.
Tractor Supply and he just
Yeah, yeah,
He's popping them in his mouth.
a Cornish hen.
fresh ones.
Are Cornish hens like genetically modified?
I don't think so.
Have you ever
They're
seen
just
a Cornish
small
hen?
hens. No, I've seen them on the fucking shelf at Walmart.
They're just small. They look
They're
like
small chickens.
They look like small rotisserie chickens.
Cute little.
They look like that in nature. They're rotisseried already.
Yeah, yeah.
They
they're
come pre-rotisseried.
pre-rotisseried. Yeah,
Walking around out there.
yeah. I've never seen a live Cornish hen, but I would have to assume it's like a.
Okay, well, I've never seen a dead pigeon. We talked about this when we talked about birds aren't real. I've still never seen a dead pigeon. It's been years, and I haven't seen a dead
See,
pigeon.
I feel like they're probably more dead in cities, and you would see them on tops of buildings and like on the sidewalks, which get cleaned, and then on the road, which like they get smashed. And furthermore, to the road point, you're not looking for dead pigeons
am.
when you're on the road.
Oh, I am.
Hey, okay,
That's the only reason I drive.
different strokes.
I'm dead pigeon hunting.
Yeah,
I have big
different
problems
strokes.
with the birds that actually walk across the road and don't fly.
Yeah, they wait until the last second. It's like that episode of Seinfeld.
Yeah, the one where they talk about gorillas.
Yeah.
What's the deal with gorillas being cryptids?
What's the deal?
You know, we haven't done that in so long. We've done it like 4 times today in the
Yeah.
past 20 minutes.
Hey, sometimes it comes in waves.
Seinfeld does come in waves. I'm of the opinion who made this decree in the German city,
Mm-hmm.
I think he is under the opinion that birds aren't real and they're surveillance, and that's the real reason behind it, and that's why they want to go to the extent to torture them.
That's why they
Because
shock
want
eating
them.
Yeah,
all
they
the
wanna-
them out.
shocking. He's
Deprogram
EMPing them.
them, yeah. and then
Mm.
break its neck in
Mm.
case it is real. You know,
Right. Break the camp. Right.
That's all I'm saying. I feel like that's a safe assumption.
That's a pretty fair assumption, honestly. I like that.
But like, also, we have measures in America to stop the pigeon population, or at least like
Do we?
avoid that. We have pigeon spikes. They put spikes on buildings in like New York
Yeah.
and shit, specifically so pigeons don't land there to get them out of the area.
Yeah.
Like they could, if I, don't- it doesn't address what the issue is. It just says they have pigeons and they don't want them. That's all the information we have. Is it because like they're becoming a nuisance, or there are too many of them, or it's making too much shit in the streets?
I think the town thinks that they're gross.
Well, put up pigeon spikes and shoot them.
Yeah.
If you
guess,
make
yeah.
it legal to hunt the pigeons, I don't think this problem is.
Yeah, pigeon hunting season.
So, while some people find them irritating and nothing but a menace, others share their food with the birds. So, I think probably there were people in this specific town that were like,
Egging on the pigeons.
Feeding the pigeons,
Yeah.
basically domesticating them to that town.
Yeah, pretty much. And so the town mayor had to come out and be like, yo, we killing the pigeons.
That's what they sound like in Germany.
Yo, I'm from Germany, yo, we killing the pigeons.
Crime Time is actually from Germany. Shed and JTG.
Yeah.
Yeah. As someone who owns a pigeon, I never feed it. Never feed the pigeon.
No.
But you got to be cautious, because when you don't feed the pigeon, they eat about 60 cookies a day.
Yeah, so the pigeon does love eating its cookies.
Yeah.
And so you have to be weary of how many cookies it's eaten
Right.
late into the night.
However,
it
not
will-
feeding the pigeon has resulted in less pigeon population in Ohio.
Yeah.
It's an Arizona problem.
I was gonna
now.
say the pigeon problem in
migrated.
Arizona has they
It's
migrated.
increased.
It's increased exponentially.
Yeah.
It's
One
almost
at least like one big pigeon's worth.
one massive pigeon's worth.
Yeah.
Just on some rock somewhere.
In some fucking ditch somewhere, in a
Driving-
can or something.
Yeah, driving a big tube around,
Yeah.
telling people about the rocks.
Yeah.
Oh, look at that rock.
Those damn pigeons.
Oh, look, there's a rock over there.
Honestly, I'd rather have a vampire than a pigeon.
Yeah, I'm glad that we don't have a pigeon problem, but I wish that the vampire problems would increase around
I
here.
like pigeons. I think I want pigeons around.
Would you rather have a pigeon problem or a vampire problem?
Pigeon problem.
Vampire problem.
I feel like I could solve the vampire problem a lot easier than the pigeon problem.
It would be way more fun. Imagine your friend calls you up and it's like, yo, I have a vampire infestation. Grab your wooden stakes,
multiple.
grab your garlic. They're living in the attic and the basement. We need to kill multiple.
Are vampires?
Go to Feather Fur, buy your silver bullets. We
the
gotta kill.
vampire defense section of
We-
Feather Fur.
We gotta kill these sumbitches.
Is that why we don't have vampires now? Is because we know like how to kill them? Like it's too well publicized, and that's why we have so many pigeons, because it's not as well publicized of how to get rid of them.
The VKF, the Vampire Killing Force.
The VKF.
The
You said.
VKF.
Okay, sorry, I was thinking of the VKM.
The
It's the Voodoo
VKF.
Kin Mafia.
The Vampire Killing Force. The VKFA.
Do you
Vampire Killing Force of America.
do vampires have to be hostile? Like, are they always aggro?
No.
I think
Could
definitely.
I befriend a vampire?
Okay, listen. There's a really good movie series about that.
There's also a really good series. There's plenty of series.
Yeah.
Once they added the werewolf, it really threw me off.
They
I
start-
couldn't focus on the vampire.
They start kissing and stuff. It's good.
Once there was territorial pissings and stuff like
Yeah,
that, I was
yeah.
out.
There's
Yeah.
a vampire child.
Yeah.
I don't want the vampire child. I want the vampire. And I want a friendly vampire who doesn't sparkle.
I think that there's a secret vampire killing force known as the VKFA, and they kill.
They're coming after you now.
No.
No, he's the
We're
head.
homies. Yeah, we're homies.
No, I am not a vampire.
I'm not a vampire. I'm not on their radar at all.
Is it like a cop? Like if you had, hey, are you a cop? And they have to say they're a cop.
Yeah.
Is
yeah.
the notion?
But they've been so low key and under
Yeah.
the radar that no one asks
Yeah.
them.
No one asked them, hey, are you a vampire?
Right.
Oh, you got
you
me.
got me. Fuck. Yeah.
Fangs and a cowl.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just appear.
Are you? You know,
You're looking a little Nosferatu. Looking a little
how old is Nosferatu?
multiple eons.
That's not what I meant.
Eons.
216-859-8699. Again, if you have a vampire problem,
Call the VKFA.
The Artificial Intelligence Podcast is the only show written, voiced, and scored entirely by AI. All episodes are available now on stylesrebelradio.com.
Do you need your lawn to be in tip-top shape for this summer? Were these big landscaping companies not giving you the time of day? Well, look no further than Jacob and Pete Landscaping. Based out of local Valley View, Ohio, a team of experienced landscapers are here to help you with any of your landscaping needs. To mulching, mowing, retaining walls, Jacob and Pete Landscaping has it covered. For a free quote today, call 216-952-6002. Again, for a free quote, call 216-952-6002. Jacob and Pete Landscaping. Let us do the dirty work.
Everybody, this is the Pidge, and I'm here to tell you that I hate everything that you send me, but I love it at the same time because holy shit. That's all I gotta say to that. If you guys don't know me, I'm the Pidge, and I'm one of the members of the Styles Rebel Radio page. You probably won't hear me as much on the Rebel podcast because I'm away in Arizona, but every month I come out with the show. Submit your stuff into the Styles Rebel Radio Discord page under the Pigeonhole section, and it will be featured on the next show. Unless there's racial slurs. See ya.
All right, campers, welcome back to the Rebel Podcast. For those of you who skipped forward, not cool, dudes.
so like how Space Ghost is just an old Hanna-Barbera cartoon that they made into its own show.
Yeah.
That, but with Nosferatu.
Oh, okay. And it could be called Nosferatu, Ghost to Ghost.
Well, he's not. No, it's not. It's not Space Ghost. It's just the same like formula of we're gonna take old Nosferatu footage and make it a new show. Where he's like, it's like it could be like a sitcom. Like
Awesome.
Nosferatu. That was the off-air theme. Welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show. Don't mind me. I'm just mentally in Tokyo.
Oh, I'm always mentally in Tokyo.
What's going on in Tokyo?
Lost in Translation. Bill Murray. That was in Tokyo.
That's not currently going on in Tokyo.
Not anymore, but
No.
one time it did. No, there was a condo like a condo complex in
That's an
Japan.
apartment.
It was a 10-story condominium in Tokyo.
That's called an apartment.
And it was nearly complete. And then the company, Sekisui House, said that they are demolishing it. They're razing it. Which I thought razing it meant building it, but razing it means like razing it to the ground.
Really?
Yeah.
Hmm.
Like RAZING.
Really?
You're raising it to the ground. Yeah. Raise it to the ground. And then you click the button and the building explodes. That's what that means. Which is
That's
interesting to me.
weird.
I didn't realize that
Yeah.
until I read this and I had to like double take it.
I
But
don't know
yeah.
if I've ever heard anyone say raise it in general. I've heard level it.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever heard like, oh, we're gonna go raise this building.
I'm gonna raise the roof.
Because to me, if I had heard someone say, and I guess we're not in like construction,
Yeah,
we're not
that's
in
fair.
manual labor.
Speak for yourself,
labor.
asshole.
But like, I've never heard someone say, we're gonna go raise this building downtown, and
Yeah.
like
I'm gonna start using that though.
I'm gonna start
Think-
raising buildings.
You hear, you hear about that building they raised?
Yeah,
There's a vampire in there. They had to.
Yeah.
Can't invite him into your home if there's
yeah,
no home.
Yeah, right. You had to
There's so many solutions for vampires.
raise the whole building.
Sorry, I'm still talking about vampires. Tokyo, demolishing condos.
But so it was it blocked the view of Mount Fuji from the road that was named Fujimi, I think is how you pronounce it. Fujimi, Fujimi.
Yeah, if you too, pal.
But that means like Fuji Viewing Street.
Oh.
So the road that it was literally blocking Mount Fuji was literally called Fuji Viewing Street.
So it's not like the city is called though. They were like, you gotta tear that down. The dude who owned it decided.
The construction company was the ones who were, or like the building company was like, no, we just realized
we fucked up.
Yeah.
How do you not notice that when like you get the blueprint and buy the lot that it's gonna impede your view?
So they say there's no denying. This is just a random blurb from the company about them raising it. There's no denying that the current situation had enormous impact on the landscape. We have decided to prioritize the view from the road. And it's very interesting that the view from the road is what is very important to them.
Yeah.
And they have a road that is called Fuji Viewing. Like,
I
wouldn't
mean-
there be a landmark or something like
Right.
that as opposed to a road? I feel
Kind of
like
like a
that's
national park viewing, like an observation deck or something.
Right. I feel like it's
There
dangerous.
probably
to...
is, but
Yeah.
the road that they're speaking of, like it's literally just like a city street, but on either sides, it
Mhm.
basically just like picture frame, photo frames Mount Fuji at the end of the road.
Yeah.
So it's probably just more for the aesthetic.
I'm gonna be honest. So they have a before and after photo. I'll put it in the Discord, stylesrebelradio.com. Get you there. They have a picture of the before and after of this building standing and then raised.
Yeah.
And like, it definitely does impede the view, but there's other buildings on this road that also impede the view. It's just farther down.
So you made the point of like, we'll just take a couple steps to the left.
Yeah.
And like, I feel like if you're on a road, you can't really like.
You should
can't-
probably be focusing on the road, not Mount Fuji.
And I guess I don't know if it's like European style over there where they drive on the opposite.
Please don't talk
sides.
about European style. I
Your
hate that.
evil-
I fucking hate that guy.
Your evil counterpart.
Yeah, I fucking hate European style.
That's
Goddamn
funny.
monarch, son of a bitch.
That's funny. You look Danny Phantom. Like, but like you can't really take those two steps to the left if it's just a road that is like the quote unquote viewing site, you know?
Right.
So I don't like. It's a very honorable decision, and it seems like a lot of people with a lot of money just
Didn't think.
made a brash decision, and then also doubled down on their made a equally brash decision in demolishing the whole building. you know?
My capitalist brain is only thinking that this dude would have lost a shit ton of money, not only in like construction and potential money of the apartments operating,
Yes.
but like buying the plot of land, inspections, shit like that, paying people to demolish it and build it. Like this dude losing a shit ton of money.
I don't
like,
think it's-
unrealistic amounts. My capitalist brain is telling me there's some kind of backdoor dealing with the city that he's gonna get compensated for some of this.
Because he
'Cause I
got
don't-
rid of the blocking of the view.
Yeah, like he can be a good guy and tear down the building. I'm just saying that's a lot of money to lose
I
for
think
tearing
it's-
down a building just because you're blocking the view.
I don't think, and I just want to soften the blow a little bit because it is a lot of money lost, and I
Yeah.
completely agree, and they are taking a huge L. But I don't think it's one person. I think it's
The company.
property development company.
Right.
And so like that would be like Howard Hanna or
Yeah.
something like that, taking a huge loss.
Couldn't they
on,
just like
a big condominium or something? I don't know,
Right.
You know.
if it was a taller building, which it seems it was, couldn't they just take like the top 6 floors?
Well, that's what I was thinking, but the problem is it's not like height that's blocking the view. It's
Right.
how far out into
It's-
the street it sticks.
It cuts it in half. It cuts it in half, hot dog style, not hamburger.
Gotcha.
Don't talk about hot dog style. That guy's also a son of a bitch.
Dude, listen, hot dog
Is he
style
friends
isn't a
with
bad
Joey
guy.
Chestnut?
All right.
He
I
keeps
hang out with
losing.
him.
He keeps losing to Joey Chestnut.
I hang out with him all the time, and sometimes I take a nibble.
Oh.
Hot dog style. It just looks like a big hot dog.
Let me let you know a little secret, Shane. Hot dog style. I got reason to believe he's a vampire.
God.
I ain't never seen no damn garlic on that dog.
That's true. I've never had a garlic hot dog style. So they're taking down this condominium in Tokyo.
Yeah, they are. They really are. It's an interesting counterpoint because we talked about the gas station that put up a fucking mesh screen how many hundred feet in the air to block the view of Mount
But then
Fuji?
didn't they take it down?
No, there's
No, they
big
ripped a
holes
hole
in
in
it.
it.
Oh,
Yeah.
they ripped a hole in it.
A bunch of people
yeah.
have ripped like holes in it to take pictures of Mount Fuji.
So I mean, it's clear to me now after all of this Mount Fuji shit. Mount Fuji is very sacred to these people, and like they are willing to go to great lengths to
Stupid
preserve the view,
the
of
site.
so that you can see it, which to me is very honorable, and like I can totally. It's an Eastern philosophy thing. It 100% is an Eastern philosophy thing of like we need to look at Mount. We need to be able to look at Mount
in
Fuji.
the Art of War, actually.
Probably.
I want to know. So, from what it seems, the two stories about them demolishing a building so they can see Mount Fuji, and the gas station owners putting up a mesh screen so people can't see Mount Fuji, tourists. I want to know if there is like designated spots that you're supposed to look at Mount Fuji, and the street is like synonymous with the view.
Probably.
And they probably get a lot of like tourism and money coming from that little town that they built there on that street.
Probably.
And I bet it would be the same equivalent of like me driving to the Grand Canyon and not going to the Grand Canyon National Park, take a picture, take a tour.
Right. I
Fucking
would never
pigeons.
take a tour with a pigeon.
They got too many fucking pigeons up there.
Yeah, they got a pigeon
if we're being
problem
honest.
up in the Grand Canyon.
Or if I just, drive a couple miles down the road and, park off the side of the road and look at the Grand Canyon.
Right.
And take a pic, because it's a giant fucking canyon.
Right.
You're not going to tell me I'm not going to be able to find somewhere that I don't have to pay, I wonder if that's kind of how it is. Like, these people that owned the gas station would rather people come and buy things at their gas station, not take up the spaces and park and take pictures.
Exactly. And this, to me, feels, too, like, it was initially designed capitalistically of, like, well, I can sell the condos that are on the side of Mount Fuji for a fuck ton.
Right.
And then they were like, well, actually, maybe they started to see it getting raised and shit. And they're like, actually, this probably
blocks the view.
Right. I would have to assume, and again, this is just me going to hypothetical land with my brain, but like one of the people who own this property management company is driving to the site and they're on this road and they see it how raised, and they're like, wait a minute, I can't see Mount Fuji now. What the fuck? And so they're like, we gotta tear this whole thing down. We can't do this at all.
They took the before picture and they sent it in. They were like, no, guys.
Right.
Raise it.
We can't raise the whole thing.
I can only think about the people who live, because again, the whole street's buildings that like frame Mount Fuji in this picture. I can only think about the people that live the building behind this one that's being built. They had a perfect view of Mount Fuji, and now there's an apartment complex there.
Not anymore.
What the fuck is going on?
Sucks to suck, guys. You want to buy a new apartment?
But now they're demolishing them, and so it's like, yeah, we're back.
Now you get to look at 8 months of construction and demolition.
Yeah.
Again.
Again.
We were like, oh, it's almost finished. They're gonna be gone. Then they demolished the building.
It's just crazy how much money this company is going to lose in the grand scheme of things.
A lot of money. Which, I mean, again, it's a very, like, to me, the word that comes to mind is very honorable and, like, feels like an Eastern philosophy thing. Feels like Eastern. I can tell this is like the sacred Mount Fuji, because it is very sacred to them. It's a very important thing to them, and, they take it very seriously. And so it's like, okay, I guess that makes sense that that companies and individuals, not just like the government, are willing to go out of their way to, well, let me take down my whole building because it blocks the actual view that is intended,
I wonder if they're going to move it back a couple inches.
The mountain?
No.
Yeah, why don't they just move it a couple inches to the right?
Mount Fuji.
And build it again.
Scoot it over a little bit.
Just push it somewhere else.
Right.
You tell me we don't have the technology to move Mount Fuji? Come on.
No, but just move the building. I completely agree. Of like just
or downsize it, like make it like a small condo or a long condo, instead of an apartment.
Right.
I don't know. The best way to end a haiku, it always works. It's snowing on Mount Fuji. 216-859-8699.
WSRR.
Hi there, Gavin Michaels here. You might not know this, but it's Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. And as a man who's wrangled with his mental health the way Steve Irwin would wrangle a crocodile, I can tell you it's made a lot easier by talking with a professional. Now, as a man myself, I'm sure some of you think therapy is for pussies. If that's the case, then I know the kind of encouragement you need. You're too much of a little bitch for therapy. You couldn't handle the work that is therapy. Only real, hardcore men go to therapy. Giga Chads, Sigmas. So if you want to be a Sigma, call your insurance and see what mental health resources they offer. In all sincerity, it's never too late to get help. I'm actor, musician, vampire Gavin Michaels. Take care, guys.
This message is brought to you by WSRR Radio and StylesRebelRadio.com.
Hey everyone, Shaney here, the host of that show, Off Air. Check me out 3 p.m. weekdays on WSRR, Styles Rebel Radio.
Whoever's the owner of the gray sedan, you left the Rebel Radio show playing.
It's snowing on Mount Fuji.
That's how you end. That's how you end a haiku. I've heard.
Yeah. You must have heard that from a real reliable source.
Only the most reputable.
Who totally isn't a vampire.
Yes.
216-859-8699. I don't have a reason to call in, but if you want to call or text in,
just do it.
Just do it.
See how we're doing.
If you're like awkwardly standing in line somewhere and you're listening with your headphones in,
yeah,
and like someone's trying to talk to you, and you're like, oh, I gotta text someone. 216-859-8699.
Yeah.
That's
Text
probably
us.
Yeah, it's probably a good use of it.
Yeah.
Text us a haiku.
Text us not while you're driving.
Yeah, pull over.
Pull over to
text us.
Right.
216-859-8699. Also don't drive if you don't have a license.
Yeah. Well, don't drive if you have a suspended license, but
don't drive in court either.
Yeah, don't drive if you're going to be on a Zoom call in court.
Yeah.
For a traffic ticket.
Yeah. For having a suspended license, and then you show up on the Zoom call in your car. That's not good. It's not a good look.
Yeah. So okay, I'm sure everyone's seen this video, but there's a viral video that ran around. A guy who had a ticket for a suspended license was the original one, right?
Mhm.
Got pulled over. They saw he had a suspended license. They ordered him a ticket. He had a court date to appeal that ticket. And he attended the court date via Zoom and was currently driving while on the video call.
He was about to be parked, though. He was about to be
He
parked.
was pulling into his doctor's appointment.
Yeah.
And meanwhile, the judge is asking, "Sir, are you driving? Sir, are you parked?"
And he's like, "Hold on, just a minute. I'm pulling in.
I'm pulling in right now."
He's like,
I'm
"Hold
pulling in
on,
right now.
hold on,
backing in,
just a minute."
And the video went viral of the judge watching this man drive on Zoom
In
on
disbelief.
The
The
court.
judge is in utter disbelief.
Yeah.
Like, what is going on right now?
To which I'm assuming his defense, who is in the courtroom, is trying to like speak once like he's actually parked and they get
Yeah.
started, and the judge cuts him off and goes, "Hang on. He's here for a suspended license, correct? And he was driving. Well, correct, but currently driving. I saw him driving,
Right.
and then issued him to report to the county jail or whatever it was. I think there was also a fine, but he had to report to the jail within 24 hours.
So then, to double down on that,
Yeah.
he never had a license in Michigan.
Well, hang on. So
yeah,
before we get there,
how does all this debauchery
before
go?
we get there, a couple days later, after he did turn himself in, did go to the jail, and then I'm assuming his law team, his counsel, whatever it is,
Right, his lawyer.
his prosecutor, made it the claim that he never didn't have a he had a suspended license in 2022. He paid whatever he had to got it.
He had it in 2010.
2010.
He
That's
went
right.
to reinstate it in 22.
Okay, so he
Quote unquote.
Yeah,
Yes.
he
went
did
to
have a
reinstate
suspended
it.
license. He reinstated it in 2022, and that's why he was driving. And it must have been some kind of miscommunication on the DMV's part and the public records part that it was still suspended, even though he paid or whatever he had to do to get it unsuspended,
Right.
to get it reinstated. In that the whole thing was a big clerical error, and he should be let out. So the judge reviewed this, and initially he's like, "Oh, okay, we'll take this back in review and make sure that's accurate."
Right.
And initially they were gonna wipe everything clean, and he already served a day or whatever it was in the jail. But I guess it turns out, as you were saying, he never got it reinstated. He didn't have a license in general.
He had his license suspended in 2010 due to some child payment, child care payment.
Child support.
And he went to reinstate it, and apparently...
How does that work? Hang on. How does that work? You don't pay child support and they take your license?
Yeah, it's through the government.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I found out they can do that.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
And so he probably went to reinstate it, paid a fine or whatever, but there's other steps that you had to take that he didn't do. So he just probably thought that one step was it. I'm good to drive.
He paid whatever fine he owed, but didn't get it reinstated.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
And then he continued to drive.
So he didn't have a license.
Yes.
Okay. And
so technically it was still quote unquote suspended because he didn't take the extra steps to get it unsuspended.
Right.
The DMV never got the issue to clear the suspension.
Well, hang on. Once you get your license suspended, you have to get a new license.
No.
Right? You can't. It's not the same physical ID.
Yeah, it's the same one. I've had my license suspended before.
I've also,
suspended?
I've had my license suspended before, and you get the same one back.
Yep.
So what happens is you get it back in the mail, and you have to wait. And what I did is I just went and got a new license registered to me, and I carried around like the paper until the new one
until you
came.
get a new license.
And then the new one came in the mail before the old one came in the mail. Or maybe the old one came first, but then I had the new one on the way, so I was like, fuck it.
I'm just thinking, like...
See, when I got mine suspended, they let me keep mine. And I was just there.
Oh, no. Yeah, because I got it back in the court, but they were like, this isn't good anymore. You have to get a new one. Something.
See, that's what I'm thinking. Like, they'll give you back the physical license, but you have to get another license.
Yeah.
Like, that piece of plastic that is your ID is not valid
anymore. It's like when they like stamp it. Or
yeah.
They like
so like when you get your license renewed, they punch your old one.
Right.
So like they'll give it back to you. You can keep it, but that's not a valid ID anymore. So when you get your license suspended by the court, I think it's the same thing where it's reinstated on the books, but you have to get a physical ID to carry with you. You have to go back to the DMV and get that.
Yeah.
I think that's the part he didn't do. He probably, went to the hearing, paid whatever fine, and got his old license back, but never actually went and renewed his license after that, got the physical ID. I wonder if that's the case here. Because that's kind of what it seems like.
2 years, so
it
shouldn't need renewed.
Right.
Right, because it'd be, 4 years? You get a license every 4 years?
What an embarrassing, way to hop into this. You get viral for showing up to a Zoom call. Like, that's so... Come on, dude.
And
Come on, man.
All of the odds were stacked against him. It was just like everything was wrong.
Well, that's what I was saying before. It was like, so regardless if... In this guy's mind, he thought he was innocent. He thought it was a clerical error, right? He thought, no, I have my license. Here it is. I went through all this already. In his mind, they made a mistake, and he's going to tell them that they made a mistake, and this will be all resolved, right?
Right.
Even if that's the case, why would you join the fucking Zoom call for court while driving?
Yeah, why don't you just... Because I'm assuming it was a thing of he saw the Zoom call on his phone and didn't want to miss it because he knew that it was court. And so he was like, oh, shit, I can't miss... I think in that situation... You miss the Zoom call and wait until you're parked, and then just make something like, oh, sorry, I had to run out of my office building and run to my car. Or, make something up, or sorry, I was just driving and wanted to. But even then, if you know about your, I don't know, it's such a weird situation.
Yeah.
Poor guy, and it's his fault. So I don't know.
No,
it may
his
have been
fault.
the court's fault for not telling him that he needed to go back to
and then that's
regardless, answering the fucking Zoom call while you're driving is his fault.
Right. That's you walked right into that one.
If that wasn't a part of the story, we never would have heard about this.
Right.
It would have been a guy who went to court and his license was suspended. He got a ticket for driving without a license. He thought he had a license, and then they brought up, oh no, you never actually got your license.
Right.
And that would have been it. And he would have paid whatever fine or served the night.
Right.
He wouldn't have served the fucking night in jail.
Right.
Because the judge saw him driving with a suspended license still. That's why he was told to report to the jail.
Right.
That was the ruling on the hearing. We wouldn't have got there. It probably would have been solved within a day or two in the courtroom.
It literally is because he fumbled so hard answering, and
it's
it
right
probably
at the beginning.
It probably was a very moment of panic, split decision of well, fuck, I don't want to miss this call, so I'm just gonna fuck it. I'm just gonna answer it,
I don't
where
know.
like he could have waited and missed the call, called back, and I don't know how Zoom works
We
necessarily.
shouldn't
where you
have
can't-
Zoom court. That should be the
Right,
fucking. That's so
right.
ridiculous.
Right. Yeah, because that's part of why this
Yeah.
is a situation too. The fact that he has the leisure of knowing, like, well, it's a Zoom court meeting, so I don't have to
Right.
actually show up. I can just kind of go do. I have a doctor's appointment. I'm going to go to my doctor's appointment. You
If
know,
this
like,
if this is some big legal issue and it's supposed to be serious and you're threatening me with jail time or fine, it's an issue with the state or the federal government. You shouldn't allow me the leisure to call you wherever I want.
right,
Like I shouldn't have the option to talk to you in my car.
right, exactly. You shouldn't give us that option.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's ridiculous that Zoom is still being used. Like I get when the whole pandemic was going on, I was afraid to go outside. They're like, oh, we got to find a way to have court, and we did Zoom court, and it was weird, and no one liked it then because it was weird. And we're 4 years removed from that
Yeah.
now, and we're still letting people who are, and I'm not talking about this case because this is a very silly case.
Yeah.
But we're letting like actual criminals call in on
Yeah.
Zoom.
Right. And like, I don't know. It's so like silly that we have gotten this far with it being okay to Zoom call and like, I don't know. It feels wrong. Like it feels like we shouldn't. It's not as formal. Right?
There's
Yeah.
been so many situations, this one included, where it's not within the court setting. Like he's literally driving.
Right.
There was one girl that was in a Zoom court meeting and she was naked,
Right.
just in her bed.
We talked about the judge that got fired for the judge was attending
She
via
was-
Zoom
yeah.
and she was in
Yeah.
bed because she had a hangover.
Yeah. Right.
That's ridiculous. First of all, the judge attending via Zoom is fucking
Right,
baffling.
right.
Like, even if we're letting Zoom calls be a thing, the judge should be in the courtroom.
Judge should be in the courtroom. 100%. Yeah. It's really interesting to me that like to just expand upon like to zoom out even a little further on Zoom and shit
Zoom.
like that. But like FaceTime and
Yeah.
video chatting in general was like what was that first? Skype?
Skype,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Skype was huge. and yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Like it was video chatting was a big thing and was like supposed to be the new cell phone call.
Yeah.
You know? And like people still FaceTime from time to time, but it's not
It's kind of cringe now.
yeah, and like I think it's one of those things where like maybe you're the people like your family or something like that.
Yeah.
I'll FaceTime my
Yeah.
family really
Yeah.
quick. Or you know, situations like but like it's not what we panned it out to be. You
I
know?
think as the consumer, as the everyday user of technology, we have gone back to the fact like, yeah, we can do all this stuff, but that's after we've seen it, after we've used it, that's not really what texting's fine.
Right.
Texting is, we got texting. I'm cool with it. We could have left it at that.
Right.
That's what I want to use.
Right.
Because like you said, back in the, especially when first, like the iPhones first came out, everyone FaceTimed for no
FaceTime
reason.
was just cool and you just wanted to
Yeah,
try
you would
it
just
and-
hop on FaceTime with your friend and
Right.
do absolutely fucking nothing.
Right. Well, and I think too that's like that has bled into like this is going to sound very new age of me, but like toxic AirPod culture where people have their AirPods in all the
Yeah.
time
Oh,
and will
yeah.
just be on the phone with someone in the grocery. They'll be shopping
Mm-hmm.
in a store and they'll just be on the phone with someone in their ear
Yeah.
and they're not saying anything or they're just kind of shooting the breeze just
Yeah.
because they want someone to talk. And I feel like it's really interesting that people want other people to talk to that much that they're willing to disconnect from the world so hard to talk directly to one friend on their or like one
Yeah.
person on their AirPod for 4 hours of shopping or you know
Yeah.
what like
Right.
walking around the mall and just talking to someone on your AirPod and like maybe saying a couple things every now and again or being like, oh, look at this thing I found, you know, like
Yeah.
that's such a I don't know, that's
See,
strange to me.
I always think, and it's always, so there's people that'll do that, and there's people that'll just openly FaceTime with nothing on.
Yeah.
Those are the rudest people on earth.
Yeah.
You need to have some self-respect.
Right.
And respect for the people around you. If you're just openly FaceTiming in a store and being loud as hell.
Right.
Gross. But the people that like will walk around with their headphones in and talk on the phone, like I'm not necessarily bothered by that. Like if I see it,
Mhm.
but I couldn't imagine being in that position where I'm gonna walk around and basically talk to myself as I walk through the store. And I also can't imagine. I would never just call you and be like, "Hey, I'm going to the store. Do you want to talk for 2 hours?"
Yes, exactly.
How do you set up this exchange?
Exactly. How does it start? How does it start? Where like literally that?
Yeah.
Hey, hey man, I'm about to go to Target. Is it okay if I talk to you while I'm there?
Right.
That's such
That's
such a weird concept, and but the thing is, it's so normal for people now, and I think things like falling asleep with each other on FaceTime and like that's a thing that people like just talking on FaceTime or just like, oh, I'm playing video games. I'll leave you on FaceTime while I play my video games. Something like that, We normalized that, and then from that, because of things like Skype and early FaceTime, now, like what I was saying before, the toxic AirPod culture is totally rampant and like a real thing of someone says something and you're in the same aisle as them and you don't know if they're talking to someone on there or are they talking or like, because I've had that a lot with like customer service, like going to talk to someone and they say something and then they're like, oh no, I'm sorry, I was on my. It's like, dude.
Well, let me put this out there too.
Yeah, right now.
And from a customer service standpoint, I've had it many times where I am the only person working in the store, and one customer comes in, they're the only person in the store, and they're on the phone on AirPods, and they're just talking. I'm like, this is that most awkward fucking thing that's happened all day. Because what do I do?
Just kind of wave to.
I kind of have to listen to your conversation that I don't want to now, and you're gonna be upset if I'm listening to your conversation. Assumingly,
what else can I do?
Right.
And then we get byproducts like this guy joins a Zoom call on it because he's on his phone. He's just holding his phone in his hand because Zoom is an app, and so you can do that. We have the access to like it's just bad. It's just a bad culture that we've accumulated from things like video chatting and Skype and shit like that. And
way too many people do it in the car.
Yeah,
I've seen a lot of people like video chatting in the car.
I hate seeing people with AirPods when they're driving.
It's a felony. Well, I don't know if it's a felony, but it's illegal.
Yeah, I mean, and I see it all the time.
I want to call people out every time because how fucking dangerous is that?
So dangerous. And like you used to, it's crazy too that this isn't a new thing. This like you would see it with wired headphones. Yeah. People would put their earbuds in when they were driving, like before AirPods were even a thing. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
It just doesn't. And then like the trope of like the Uber driver that has like the earphone in and is talking to, like, that's just so, I don't know.
I saw the other day. I saw it was like a newer Honda, maybe a Accord or something, like 2022-ish, somewhere around there. So a nicer car, new car. And the guy had AirPods in his Honda, and he was just parked. He was waiting at the gas station, and he backed out and left. And my thought was, this is just you being an asshole, because you're not going to convince me your 2020-something car that you paid for, the radio doesn't work, and you're too cheap to fix the radio while you're wearing AirPods.
Right.
No, that's just you being an asshole. And if you're listening to this and you do that, stop that.
Yeah. It's
if
such
your radio works, use it.
Yeah.
Right. Use your car radio.
Fuck, I know. I'm gonna name drop him. When I first met Jimmy from the Sports Avenue podcast,
bring it back.
All 50 episodes. WSRRradio.com. When I first met him, he had an Impala, an older Impala, and his radio didn't work. And that's one of the first conversations we had outside of broadcasting. Was I could probably fix the radio if you want me to look into it. And he would put a JBL speaker in his cup holder and play. I'm like, you know what? That makes sense.
Yep.
Because you're not being a fucking asshole and being oblivious to the road, and it's the same as having speakers in your car.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep. That's the way to do it. Just get a speaker, JBL speaker or something, soundboard, put it in your car.
Yeah.
It works the same.
But no, I agree that we've gotten too comfortable when it comes to Zoom and using Zoom as frequently and for as many things as we do.
Right.
And it's weird because the pandemic hit and it seems like Zoom it existed before it.
Right.
Zoom took off and everyone thought it was revolutionary. Meanwhile, like you said, we've had Skype, we've had Discord, we've had FaceTime. Like, these are things that we've had forever.
Right.
But Zoom blew up like it was a big revolutionary thing. And what bothered me is court bothered me because, again, it was just unprofessional. You had people in their pajamas and smoking during court and all this other stuff because it's Zoom. Who cares?
Right.
Because it's being shown as this big professional thing we can all do, but the people using it are so unprofessional. It's not a professional thing. It's a leisure thing.
Yes.
And I'd watch the news, and you'd have people doing weather on Zoom. And this is someone who's getting paid by a multi-billion-dollar company to be a media personality who doesn't own anything other than a pair of AirPods to talk into on this meeting. You don't understand that's not TV quality audio.
Right.
You don't understand that you should have some kind of microphone or the company should supply you with a media kit to use.
Right.
That was what was ridiculous to me.
Right.
Is like, Zoom is not a fucking industry standard media. It's FaceTime. You're FaceTiming.
We've gotten very comfortable.
Yeah.
We've gotten very, very comfortable, and I think it's showing with situations like this.
Yeah.
This guy got a ticket because this guy is in a lot of legal trouble now.
He's in a lot more trouble
because we have gotten too comfortable as a society with the rules and laws of FaceTiming and video calling.
Yeah.
And in the legal system especially.
How much better this would have went for him if he still would have drove that day, but just drove to the courthouse.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He's already driving.
Even if it was an in-person court meeting and he was 15 minutes late,
Yeah.
probably would have been
Yeah.
a better scenario than this.
Also,
you know?
like, not to try and get into this guy's personal life or anything or assume anything
Mhm.
about him, but like, if you know you're going to court, why are you scheduling a doctor's appointment at the same
right,
time?
right.
Move
Bad
one
planning.
of them.
Bad planning. Very bad planning. Two very important things right on top of each other in the schedule.
I'm assuming the doctor's appointment was first.
Well, you
and
cancel it and
then-
reschedule it.
Right.
Hey, I
right.
have court.
That's like the worst kind of double booked. I
Yeah.
have court and doctor on the same day. Damn. That sucks.
The only thing worse would be if you got into court and there's Dracula standing there.
God,
Who invited this guy in the
don't even get
courtroom?
me- Dude, Dracula's legal skills are insane, yo.
Yeah, Dracula has a hell of a legal team.
Yeah, he does.
That's why he keeps popping up every
Yeah,
couple of years.
yeah.
Legally, we can't tell him no. He has to come in. Inclusion.
FaceTime's bad. FaceTime with Dracula, probably pretty cool.
Couldn't even see him.
No, he would show up because it's not a mirror. It's just a camera.
Cameras are a series of mirrors. Oh my god. It all works off light refraction, doesn't it? Isn't that how camera lenses work?
I have no idea.
It's like when you look into a telescope, you're just looking down at a mirror and back up at another.
Right.
So like I think that's how like a camera lens works too. Is it's also got like small mirrors in it for light reflection, right?
Maybe. Should ask Mothman. Bigfoot.
About cameras?
They probably know.
They've seen them a time or two.
Yeah.
They avoid them well enough
In
to
passing,
know.
yeah.
But no, moral of the story is like this guy put himself in so much more legal trouble just by being on Zoom
Right.
rather than
Yes.
showing up to court.
Right.
Or you can like I don't know if it's something this small you can, but like I'm sure he could have got like an extension or like cleared it with the court to move it if this doctor's appointment was so important to him, or he
Right.
couldn't drive, which
Right.
legally he couldn't, or have someone on his behalf there, have his representative
Right.
there on his behalf. Again, for something this small, that's probably not an option. You probably have to
Right.
be there to
Right,
do
right,
it,
right.
or you're paying a shit ton of money.
Yeah.
But like, it seemed to me, it seems like the guy thought he was in the right. Like he genuinely thought he had his license reinstated.
Mm-hmm.
But it's at the end of the day, it's on him for doing all this.
Yeah, it's a bad planning thing. It's like too comfortable with Zoom calls, and we shouldn't have Zoom calls in the legal system. And also, this guy's bad at planning.
Yeah.
Those are the two things. That's
Yeah.
pretty much it.
Yeah.
I couldn't imagine being somebody who's called to court and appearing in Zoom thinking I'm going to win. It seems
Right.
like the odds are stacked against me that I couldn't even be bothered to show up. That's all I'm saying.
Right.
That's fair.
I'm sure it's happened, but like to me, if I'm sitting there in my fucking wife beater on Zoom, I don't think I'm winning court.
Representing yourself from
Yeah.
from your living room.
Yeah, smoking a Newport.
I am a free man. You're just shouting, and you're, I am a free man.
Your roommates are like behind you.
The hell?
Just watching football. If you want to appear on the Rebel Radio Show via Zoom, that's probably not going to happen. But 216-859-8699. Did you listen to the last 30 minutes? We basically tore down Zoom the entire
Yeah,
time.
Zoom down with big Zoom.
There goes that sponsorship deal. 216-859-8699. If you want to text into the Rebel Radio Show, we're live every Monday at 5 p.m. right here on WSRR Radio. But you can also catch the replay, the Rebel Podcast, every Wednesday at 10 a.m. on all major platforms. They also hit Rebel replays all throughout the week at 5 p.m. on WSRR Radio. You can also find all of our great programming at WSRRradio.com.
Yeah.
That's the Rebel Radio Show, the Rebel Podcast, as well as podcasts like Shanae's Off Air. And we have the Pigeonhole, we've got AIP, we've got Beyond Bounds, a whole bunch of exclusive interviews, articles, and more. Again, WSRRradio.com is the homepage for Styles Rebel Radio and WSRR Radio. You can also find all of our showtimes, schedules, and more there, as well as the links to all of our socials in the Discord server, where you can chat with us 24/7, 365. We've got a whole page about cryptids and liminal spaces and all of the different shows. So if you want to talk about Dracula some more, we can do so there.
Yeah.
The Discord
Ooh.
server at WSRRradio.com.
I'm Dracula. That's what he says.
Don't forget, 10 p.m. on weeknights. You can also catch True Vault Escapades Now. It's the Fallout-based radio drama right here on WSRR Radio. You can catch it on the Live 365 app or the website. And until next week, I've been Radio's Rebel DJ Style. To my right is Shane.
Suck it to me.
On the board is Jules.
Adios.
Peace.